Assalamu alaikum. So in this video, I wanted to discuss something that is really near and dear to my heart. And, you know, I've been kind of quiet about it in the sense that I don't want to bring up any kind of political division on my channel. I don't want to cause arguments or fights. But I am very aware of the fact that there are even Jewish people that actually agree with me and actually do feel that there is truth to this and that we need to find peace. And Jews and Muslims are actually coming together daily and trying to be that example for peace, which is really, really beautiful to see. So I wanted to talk about something because, for many years I've known about this and I've been on the side of freeing Palestine in the sense that I understand that there's an occupation going. It's not like it is in the media where the American media kind of talks about Palestinians attacking the Israelis, but they don't understand that Israel actually controls the electricity, the water supplies, and food rationing, and then patrols the streets with the armed guards, and then also takes bulldozers to the Palestinians' homes. So it's a very sad situation, and a lot of times our American media shows instead just the Palestinians are just angry Muslims and they're just, trying to fight the Israeli Jews. But it's not the truth. And so the truth I want to talk about is, because I live in America, I have not been paying attention to the news lately and over there. So I knew about the rationing going on. I knew about the occupation going on when Nelson Mandela was talking about how it was almost worse than the South African occupation of the blacks at that time, the segregation and the occupation. So I have a friend on my Facebook account who lives in Gaza, and I just discovered that today. So he posted on his status a very sad, a very heartbreaking status, that it wasn't in order to spread, disagreements or fighting or anything like that. It was literally just a call for help and just a desperation. So I wanted to read it. So this is what my friend said. How do you plan on spending the 14 hours of darkness, no electricity during the day? Question mark. You'd find my plan the first comment below. And I can tell that he was in a feeling of desperation because then the next comment is this. I'm sorry, I have no plan. What would I do is to keep staring at the clock on the wall, hoping that its hands would spin faster and faster. And I commented, I was like, I will share your story, brother. My heart just broke for that. I mean, can you imagine you're living in an area that is under the control of others? So your electricity is turned off, your water is being rationed, the food is being rationed. Plus, sometimes you're living around in rubble and in broken buildings because you got the armed guards and forces running around and taking bulldozers. This is truly an occupation. They are trying to scare the Palestinians away. They are trying to get them to move out so that they can expand their land. And it's really important to know, and a lot of people do not know this, but back in the 1800s, even the time before World War II, Palestinians were Jews and actually Muslims and Christians, and they were living together in Jerusalem. And this was a very peaceful time. And I actually saw videos of it, black and white videos. I will put it down in the link in the description. And it's beautiful. People are walking around and they are just going about their days. You see the rabbis, you see Christians, you see You see Muslims, you see them walking around, and they are going about their day, and they are allowing each other to exist. There's no armed guards, there's no fighting, and they get really close to each other, and you just get this sense of calm or peace that at this time there is no issue, that everybody kind of had their personal belief, everybody had their personal religion, but they didn't conflict with living with one another. And I feel that truly that is the way that we can get to. Again, I do feel that it, Palestine, now considered Israel after World War II, I do feel that Palestine and Israel can coexist. I mean, people can live together in that area. And if you go even further into history, you will learn that through Saladin's rule of that area during the Crusades times, you will know that the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims lived there peacefully as well. And Saladin, that was kind of in charge of that area at a certain time, allowed the Christians and the Jews to live with the Muslims as long as they did not start something. And so you learn later on that what happened was the Knight Templars kind of started to attack the Muslims because they were under this certain type of feeling that they wanted to, I don't know, maybe they just didn't get the idea of peace. But it's just amazing to see that the difference that has happened from World War II and why the whole area is now under conflict, and then how Israel has so much money. They are very wealthy because they get money from America. They have the Rothschilds that actually help to give money to them. You can actually look it up on their Israel website. You can actually learn that the Rothschilds really funds Israel. So they have a lot of money. And then these people, these Palestinians, are living literally in rocks and rubble around them. Some are fortunate to still be living in the villages, which are kind of untouched by the bulldozers and the armed guards. But then you have people like that, like he's just a normal, just a normal guy, and he's just questioning, just like, how do you live without electricity? Living without electricity for 14 hours means also there's no heat for water, no heat for cooking. Everything has to be done through manually, like, starting fires and things like that. And it's truly just devastating to see. So, in celebration of Earth Day, because I'm very close to the idea that we need to save the earth in terms of recycling and taking care of the environment. But now I want to take it even deeper, and I just want us on Earth Day to take care of each other and to treat each other as if we are one and if we really care about one another, because no one should be under occupation. No one should have their electricity cut off for 14 hours a day. No one should have their water. Let me show you what else. So I asked him, I was like, how's your water going on? And this was his reply. Hold on here. I'll go to my page just so I can get his reply. It's just so you guys have information too, because this is really just about bringing it to attention. So I said, how are you guys doing with water and food rationing? And he said, Gaza has a specific mechanism of distributing water to all neighborhoods. Due to the electricity shortage, some water wells stop pumping waters into neighbors. Thus, families tend to ration the water use and cook less water, consuming recipes. What hurts the most is doing manual laundry. So they're getting by. They are getting by, but they're struggling. And you can see that emotional struggle come by every once in a while when you know somebody who is in the Gaza Strip, who is part of Palestine. You do see that struggle. And, just, I want you to imagine that, you don't have the ability to turn on your light when you want to. You don't have the ability to take a warm shower when you want to. You don't have the ability to get the foods that you want to because because Israel's controlling the exporting and the importing. I mean, it is under occupation rule. If you are somebody that either goes to Palestine or you tried to come out of Palestine, it's very difficult in the airports. A lot of harassment on the streets. And what the media hears about the bottle rockets and the stabbing and the stoning is happening because there are literally Israeli guards with guns walking around the streets, and they're paroling, and they're basically harassing people, trying to really push them out of Palestine and enlarge Israel's borders. So then you have the Gaza army, or the Gaza, the people, just the residents that are trying to fight back in the way they can, but they're poorer than Israel. They don't have the technology, and they have, like I said, bottle rockets. They can stab, and they can stone. You can throw stones at people, and they can fight people in the street, and they can fight the Israeli soldiers in the street. But really, what we have to come to an agreement about, and I really loved Jill Stein for this, was her idea of the peace process between Israel and Palestine, of bringing the two governments together and saying, we need to stop. We need to stop occupation. We need to stop, the cutting of electricity, the cutting of water, all this kind of stuff we need to stop. And we need to come to some kind of peace agreement, or, America will pull back its support in the sense. So I thought that it was really great of Jill Stein to talk about, because America needs to realize something. We will not have peace in our psyches, in our souls, in our consciousness as Americans until the rest of the world has peace as well. Especially if we are involved with something, with an ally that doesn't give peace to others. So everything's interconnected, right? Everything's connected. So if Israel is treating Palestinians like that, but then America gives money to Israel, then the American people are going to feel bad about that. And that's what's happening. That's why it's very chaotic. It's like being part of the Vietnam protests once again, where you have half of the country wanting to go into war, wanting to keep promoting, war and destruction and division, and then you have the other half of the country that's like, stop these wars, these are crazy, we don't need to have wars, we can come to some kind of peaceful solution. And that's the side I'm on. I am on the side of peaceful solution. So I just wanted to bring that to attention and just take a moment in time and just, get that out there, because my channel is all about speaking the truth through the lies and the illusions of the world. And I thought that was really important, because it was such a status that, there's a lot of information that flows around that is either to, cause hate or division or anger. But this was a status that was just asking a question, and it was in desperation, and it made me understand how people are suffering in a way that I am not, but I am connecting to them emotionally. So I wanted other people to connect to them emotionally and to see that side of things that the American media will not show. So thank you for listening. Salam to you all. Peace to all on earth. And I will see you on the next video.